Thank you very much for that. Now, I don't know about you guys, but the absolute highlight for me about this event has been watching some of the startups here, getting to know a few of them. So I'm very, very proud to be here to introduce the folks that we have, to talk about what they've been doing. What we're going to do is bring them up one at a time, get them up, give them 2 minutes to talk about what it is they've been doing, and then we'll just have a bit of a chat and ask a few questions as we go forward. So I have a big request to all of you. In order to make them feel welcome, I'd like to ask you to join me in a round of applause for Homey and Athom. So hi, welcome.
Yes, thank you, thank you. So, yeah, welcome everybody, and let me introduce our company to you. With Athom, we are building Homey, and we're building Homey because we want to make connecting to all your devices way easier than it is today. If you're at home, it's really getting increasingly difficult to control all your devices. You have all these different remote controls, all these different internet gateways, all these different smartphone apps to just do what you want to do. At the same time, you have smart home systems that aren't really that smart at all, and all of that is making that you serve technology more than technology is serving you. Well, it's not supposed to be like that. Technology can and should do better, and that's why we made Homey. Homey contains the wireless connectivity to connect to any wireless device on any technology from any brand, ranging from your older television on infrared to the newest home automation systems on Zigbee, Z-Wave, or Bluetooth. At the same time, it connects to internet services, so it's not only aware of your physical lives, but also of your virtual life, making sure that you can connect to your email calendar and also ask about, for example, the weather forecast. But most importantly, Homey talks to you. That's right. If you're at home, you can leave your phone in your pocket and just talk directly to Homey to get certain information or to get certain actions done. Homey takes care of all the technology, so you're just left with the fun. By combining all these systems, we're creating a real intelligent home, like the ones you've seen in movies from Iron Man and Star Trek, and make sure that you have one place just to control, monitor, and get information from your home. So we are making your life, your home, better, easier, smarter, and just more fun with Homey. Thank you.
That's excellent. So, Stefan, I mean, absolutely brilliant, brilliant innovation here. Looking at the upside and the downside, as you're able to do this, what is it how's this going to change people's lives? What's the major impact you're going to have by enabling them to better connect?
So there are two different sort of people. First, for all you regular folks, it will make your life at home easier. It will make your home feel like home again and make sure you don't have to hassle with technology to create the perfect ambience. If you want to stream music, just say the artist or the playlist, and Homey makes sure that it streams over your service. If you want to watch a movie, just indicate, and Homey will dim your lights, close your curtains, lower or high-end your temperature just the way you want it, and make sure your TV and media center are turned to the right channel. But more importantly, for people who aren't as independent as you are, we can make an even bigger difference. Think about maybe blind, elderly, or disabled people that can be independent again through using their voice to control their homes instead of reaching for switches they can't reach or trying to push buttons on an app they can't really use. And at the same time, because Homey is connected, it gives the caretakers the possibility to be remotely present. So when a sensor goes off, they got notified. So for these people, we add even more value than just being able to control your life and your home in the way you want to.
No, that's brilliant. So looking at this, though, obviously we all invest a lot of our personal details, personal information, and if there's home security cameras, etc., that could be available via the web. The thing I care about is my personal security and privacy. How do you maintain that in such a connected world?
You should, and that is why we choose Homey to store everything locally. So Homey is itself a small server computer, so all your actions, your whole history, but also the scenarios that you create and the sensor data is stored on Homey itself and not in the cloud. You can have it in the cloud if you want us to back it up in case something happens to you or your Homey, but by default it's all stored locally. You can access it through the internet, through your own account, but it's never stored in our service to make sure that your information remains your information and to value your privacy.
That's fantastic. Thank you very much. Can we hear it for Stefan, please? So, great start with Homey from Athom. I'd like to move on to, I apologize if I get the pronunciation wrong here, Oort? Perfect. Welcome to the stage, Oort. Come on, we can be a bit louder than that. That's more like it.
I would like to welcome you all here. Oort provides a unique patent-pending technology, which is exclusively based on Bluetooth Smart, which we have in every smartphone. We basically work in 3 areas. It's B2C. The system for home automation for the consumer consists right now of Smart Hub, which is Bluetooth and Wi-Fi enabled, of Smart Bulb, which is multicolor, Smart Socket, and Smart Finders, where you can find your belongings. And there are also a part of devices that we integrate with. So, for example, Nest, smoke detectors, thermostats, and devices like this, to provide the consumer with all the devices that they need really to control their home. Our hub enables you to set many different actions between devices. So it's possible, for example, to attach the Smart Finder to your kid backpack, and then you can receive the information where your kid arrives home. So this is also the security for parents. The second area of business is B2B. So we transform every dumb device into the smart device. We use a little Bluetooth controller that we invented and developed with the software, and we can transform the, for example, coffee maker to a smart one. Our business is to establish partnerships with consumer electronics manufacturers or other manufacturers that produces electronics, and we can transform their devices, their existing devices, into smart one, which will be powered by Oort and which will be compatible with our technology. And the third business area is vertical solution. So we provide the whole smart solution system for telcos, for energy providers, to make them unable to provide the home system for their customers. Thank you.
That's fantastic. Thank you. So, in such a big market, I mean, hearing about the product, we talked about Internet of Things earlier. 1% of all the things that could be connected are connected. And you actually seem to have a lot of capability to make that a lot bigger and go a lot further. How do you get heard in that market? Where do you get your starting point and jump-off point where you start to get adopted by other players?
We started from development of Smart Hub. We provide the complex solution, which is mobile apps, which is hardware, so controllers and devices like bulbs. And we also provide the whole cloud platform. So we start from little devices. Then we want to provide with distributors for the whole shelf of products. We are compatible with wearable devices like Fitbit, Apple smartwatch. They all work as a trigger for our actions. Then we have a second part, which is B2B partners. So every single month, we're going to introduce new products which are powered by Oort. Then the wearables, and then also the devices that we well-known brand that we would like to integrate with our system to provide the complex, holistic system for the consumer. This is the idea.
And in terms of the business model, do you charge per item, per device? Do you license it? What's your plan there?
It actually depends on the consumer and the customer. We can provide this. We charge, for example, for developing an application fee for the items. It depends on the needs of the customer. For example, in case of coffee makers, producers, we need to develop a PCB, so the boards. So we charge per item, and then for customization, web service customization or application customization, it really depends on the consumer.
Fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you very much to Oort. So we've connected the home. We've connected everything else. Next off, we have PipesBox. So can we give it up for PipesBox, please? You, the stage is yours.
I come to you. Hi, my name is Jan. I'm one of the founders of PipesBox. And PipesBox is a platform, a hub for smart home and the Internet of Things for consumers. It's one hub, and we connect all of your favorite connected devices and also web services into one small box that you have then in your home that controls everything. And since we already heard lots of interesting stuff about smart home, what you can do with smart home, I'm going to tell you what the difference is between us and others. In the smart home market, there's one big problem today, and that is that most people just don't know what they can do with their smart devices or what they can do in their smart home. What are the benefits of smart home? And that is why we developed or invented the Pipes Market. Pipes Market is basically a little bit like Googling for smart home use cases. You can go ahead, for example, if you already own connected devices, you can go ahead and type in the name of the device, and you find interesting use cases. You see what you can do with your connected devices. Or if you're new to smart home, you can just go ahead and type in what you're interested in smart home. Like, for example, you just type in saving energy, and you get interesting use cases that you can just install with one click on your small box, on your hub at home, and then use. We'll also show you which devices you need to use that specific use case in your home. Well, from a company perspective, we're currently closing a second seed round. So if there are any investors out there, please, you're more than welcome to visit us at our booth to see some live demos. We have a software version 1.0. So thank you very much.
That's great. Thank you. So I love this idea about actually focusing in on why people would use it and how you're going to make their life different. But what do you find is the killer case study, the killer use case that people go, you know what, that's the one that I want?
You know, if I got $1 for every time the question is asked, I would be a billionaire probably. Well, that's a very, very good question. We found out that the killer use case for every individual user, it's very individual. You know, every user has a different need. One of them wants to save energy. The other one is more about comfort. They want to, for example, change the light depending on the color or depending on the weather situation outside. So it's very individual, and that's what we try to communicate to the consumer by introducing the Pipes Market, where you can just individually look what's interesting to you.
So individuality is almost the use case, bringing this all together to reflect your lifestyle. And so do you find an age group or a demographic that are particularly interested in this? Is this the young urban? Is it the aged, grey-haired rural? Where do you feel there's the most interest?
Interesting question. Well, we had some students here. They were very interested in certain use cases, more about entertainment, for example, about Sonos devices and UV lighting and so on. But we also had some older people. We already heard some examples about elderly care. So it's very, very different. But most of the time, at the moment, it's yeah, males between, let's say, 25 and 35. So that is the reality at the moment. But hopefully we can yeah, communicate it to a wider audience. So maybe even females above age 60 find their unique use cases.
We've just grown your market. You heard it here today. Congratulations to PipesBox. Actually, do you mind just grabbing the seat just at the end? So excellent, thank you. So we've got connected home in 2 different ways. We can connect everything. So now I'd like to invite up Wicross and hear about what they've got to offer.
Thank you. Hi.
Welcome.
Hi, so my name is Josue. I'm the co-founder of Wicross, and we are building the middleware for the Internet of Things. So as you know, and as you probably have, we all have connected devices. And those devices are producing data. This data, it's a gold mine for consumer companies in order for them to create new and innovative personalized services. And what we are doing with Wicross, it's building the bridges between the devices and the data to the company. But this bridge is totally controlled by the connected devices owner. So, for example, I want to buy a new houseplant, but unfortunately, always, each time I buy a new one, mine are dying after 3 or 4 weeks. So I have a little device, which is called the Parrot Flower Power, which helps me to know when I have to water it and when I have to fertilize it. And I have a Nest thermostat. By giving access to those data, to my houseplant retailer, he will be able to cross the data with his houseplant database to tell if I am good or bad gardener, what is my home environment, and he will be able to tell me, okay, Josue, you are a bad gardener, you have a hot and dry environment, so you should buy a cactus. So basically, we are building the bridge where you have the control of what we are sharing with the companies in order for them to bring you a new set of services that will help you to have a simpler life.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So looking at this then, and trying to bring all this together, one of the challenges that always strikes me is that are the device manufacturers coming to you and trying to get connected, or are you having to go to the device manufacturers to try and get them part of your ecosystem?
So it's a two-way relationship. We are integrating all the open API of the markets. That's basically our job. But our job is also to create real strong partnership with big IoT companies. And we have the chance to be in the heart of European IoT in Paris. So we have already a nice partnership with Parrot, with Whitethings, which are 2 of the most important companies in the world, IoT companies. And we are building strong partnership with close manufacturer like Schneider Electric, for example. So it's a two-way approach.
And how disciplined do you find these organizations in terms of keeping to their standards, remaining open, so that you can act as that hub and connector?
For the company we go and we see, immediately they see the interest for them to go on Wicross, because they have built objects in order for them to, with a real vision of what it will be, what it will do. And thanks to Wicross, we open the possibilities for their objects to have more and more capabilities.
And just recycling, I'm going to cheat a little bit here. Recycling back to the security question, which as a hub, on the one hand, you need all of those devices to be open and connectable.
Yeah.
On the other hand, you want to keep the bad guys out. How do you manage that?
Well, so the bridge we are building is totally controlled by the user. And on this bridge, Wicross doesn't retain any data. So we don't have any security threats from our part. then it's totally on the opt-in way of doing business. It's the company which are using the data who is asking to you as a consumer to access to your data. So you have the total control. We cannot provide a 100% secure thing, but we are making a 100% transparent data sharing.
Perfect, perfect. Well, with that, let's hear it for Wicross.
Thank you.
So we've got a really, really interesting group here. I think we're very lucky having these four on stage today, or I'm very lucky having all four of you here. We've got the folks at the user end, and we've got the folks who facilitate this happening. So a few questions just to maybe put out to maybe Homey and PipesBox first, which is, how are you finding in terms of getting those connectable devices? So we all dream of the day when our houses are fully controllable, but that's reliant upon manufacturers such as Nest, etc., giving you devices that you can interface to. What are the devices that you're finding are prevalent and easily accessible, and what are the ones that you wish the manufacturers out there would make available to you? Maybe we start with Homey.
So, and what do you do with make available? Make it build them, or make their APIs more open?
Yeah, to give you an API that you can even connect to.
Okay, so yeah, that is a good question. We at Homey take it. What we do is we're actually building an open platform on top of Homey. So that means that anyone can actually develop new device or application or driver support, so to say. So we are supporting the most popular devices, and all the popular devices like Philips Hue, or also cheaper socket switches or Sonos, they have an API. Either it's open or someone already reverse engineered it and put it on the internet. So it's open but not officially open. So what we do is we make sure we support those. And then for all the niche products, we put our software development kit out there. And the product manufacturer himself, or a hobbyist who just has the product and know how to do this sort of stuff, can find out the communication protocol and build it really easily in a small app that can be developed in a day on Homey, share that on the Homey marketplace, so everyone can have this added functionality. And this will make sure that the Homey platform and Homey operating system becomes more and more and more extended in functionality and device support every day. And apart from just relying on our community, we make sure we have a group of developers that is dedicated to build support for more and more and more devices. So all these devices will get supported eventually, and you see that all devices that are being released nowadays are already open, because manufacturers see the benefits of opening their devices. Because if they aren't open and a competitor is, everyone that has a system like Homey will buy the competitor's item.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. Thank you. And so my question, just building on that, to PipesBox. So I love this idea of actually thinking about what people actually really want and need. And as you've gone through the process of building up use cases around how people might use it and what they might do differently, have you come up with any themes or areas where devices aren't enabled today but should be? Or where you've started looking at this and saying, well, actually, these devices should have these additional capabilities to meet this broader need?
Well, that's a very, very good question. At the moment, actually, we're, yeah, you could put it the way we're almost satisfied with the openness of different manufacturers. Like you already said, we believe that manufacturers that do not open their devices or their platforms or whatever they produce will eventually be dead. And but well, we did not really come across any, let's say, one special functionality that we wish that this device actually had, because we can simulate a lot of functionalities within PipesBox. Let's say, for example, if you take the Hue Lightning, there is no such functionality to make it brighter from, let's say, within a certain time period. But we can do that within PipesBox. So we can If there's a certain functionality missing, sometimes we can simulate it, but not, of course, not always. But at the moment, I cannot really give you one example that that we wished would be there that isn't today.
I can give you an example of a device.
Yeah.
As also a tip, of course, to Oort, because they are going to build it, I'm sure. Actually, two. There are two little smart ovens and coffee machines.
Yeah.
These will allow for brilliant scenarios, like coffee right when you wake up, or preheating the oven when you're away. But now you can do a little bit hacky with radio frequency switches, but the real smart devices out there aren't yet introduced. Some companies are working on it, so I also asked my colleague from Oort to start collaborating with especially coffee machine makers and oven makers, because those two are the most core appliances that we still find lacking in being connected at all.
Yeah.
Well, coffee makers, good example. That's what I meant with simulating it. Today's dumb coffee makers, well, you can kind of simulate to make it a smart coffee maker by putting a smart plug in the middle, something like that.
Yeah.
But of course, you're right. Would be great to have more intelligence into those machines.
But don't worry, we are now doing it.
You're doing it.
Well, I was about to say, so this brings me neatly onto Oort. And to as we look at what needs to be connected, obviously your answer is you'll facilitate that connection up front. So are you finding any particular devices a real challenge to do this with? Or are you looking at this and going, we could enable that device, but people aren't asking us right now. That's the one we could do for you.
We are in the lucky position because we make use of Bluetooth, which basically means that we can add to our platform any Bluetooth device. And any Bluetooth device can work as a trigger for our devices. So basically, we don't need to integrate devices. We just simply do it. We can receive a device, and then we can integrate it without any permission or without any API from the producer.
And so, given Bluetooth and given the range challenges with Bluetooth, how do you then bring that back into a sort of central point?
This is again really question that we receive all the time. For now, we use Bluetooth in another way. So Bluetooth was used before for example, for headsets, and they need to connect to make a connection, like stable connection. In our case, the devices are sending messages every single second or half of it. So we don't need this stable connection, which basically means that you are able to control it from 50 to 100 meters now. But this year, probably, Bluetooth is going to announce mesh technology. And there's the problem with the signal and signal range will going to disappear. Why? Because every single device will be a signal extender to the other device.
Got you. No, that's great. And so coming on then to Wicross in terms of bringing all this together, I mean, what comes first? Is it the network or the device? What's the key driver?
Well, so we are totally hardware agnostic. So I will not be able to answer your question. But what comes first should be the usage for the people. They have to find something that will be for the coffee machine. There is a usage, and that's why people are wondering for it. If there is no usage, there will not be IoT in the field. It's like our mentor like to say to us, there is no technology just for technology. It's something bigger, and that's what we are doing with Wicross. It's finding all the small usage that will help company to bring a better service to their customer.
And again, you know, as with all these things, there tends to be a killer app. Are you seeing in Wicross what is the killer requirement that people go, you know what, I need to control my heating, my coffee? Do you see any common themes there?
Well, I will make exactly the same answer than PipesBox. For our customer are the brands, so their killer apps is the killer app of their fields. But there is one thing that, for me, we are doing it for free, so we like it. We are working with a French startup named Extreme Doctor, who wants to take adventurers and to help them to prepare their trip and to follow them during the trip. And so we are working with them to integrate connected devices in all this tracking. And so for me, it's the fun app of Wicross.
Brilliant.
Helping adventurers to go on new adventures.
That's great. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we've had 4 fantastic startups. Please show your appreciation.
Thank you.